Well, there is about a month left before fall 2025 happens. And in the upcoming month, One Punch Man Season 3 is supposed to happen. I don't think there has been any updated news, no new updated trailers. All we had was a very iffy trailer that has reused assets and very uninspiring animation and art style, right? I think that we might get something even worse than the Season 2 situation. There's no recovering from this. I called it, says Chibi. Let's check it out.
We're witnessing one of the biggest train wrecks and anime disasters in a long time, and probably one of the biggest anime disasters in the last decade. And every time I look at this,
Is it the biggest disaster? What about nah, it probably is. I was gonna bring up Fate Strange Fake. No. There's plenty of other disasters like Uzumaki. How about that? Right? Uzumaki's fucking crazy. Right? But the Tibet was a shit show. It depends on what you mean by anime disaster. Right? I was thinking about Fate Strange Fake, not in terms of production value, like animation quality, but in terms of scheduling and how there's like an annual release date happening and there seems to be no news coming in to let us know when the hell is this shit actually gonna happen in a timely manner. But One Punch Man Season 3 right now is absolutely kind of going through that
situation, and every day goes on by, it gets worse and worse, and I'm just left wondering, how can everyone involved in this project for One Punch Man fumble the bag so freaking hard? It's like, it's such an easy series to advertise. It's such an easy series to get right. It is a series that can print money.
I don't know about easy series to get right, because you do have to just, again, the webcomic and then the manga redrawn by Yusuke Murata, there's a big standard to live up to, right? And the way that Mappa, or was it Madhouse actually, at the season 1, it's just the quality difference after that to season 2 is just an unfair expectation. JC Staff, I don't think should have even taken on this project, man. I think that they should have dropped it. Like, if you don't have heart to like do this shit, why are you even doing it? I hear that JC Staff is slated to have, yeah, exactly 3 shows next season upcoming. And I don't think that's that big of a deal because we know that JC Staff juggles many different shows and they have different teams with different priority of how much quality they want to put in, right? The S tier team that I believe that could work on One Punch Man and deliver it justice is the Railgun team, the Danmachi team, right? If you've seen Danmachi or Railgun, a certain, scientific Railgun, or even some of the Sakuga moments of a certain scientific index, magical index, it's cracked. They can absolutely deliver the quality. But if you look at season 2, JC Staff stuff, that is not that team. They have some B team fucking working on it. And it's so frustrating that like a show like this is not getting the treatment it deserves. It should be a fucking home run, right? It's a very high standard to live up to, but they're not even trying. I feel like they've settled on mediocrity and that's all they're just going to do. And the lack of announcements, I just think that they should straight up say, they should drop it. They should drop this and let someone else take over because I would rather have them not butcher or serve up mediocrity for the Garo arc. I would rather wait.
Live in an era now, in the 2020s, to where a lot of the newcomers and new fans and everything love Battle Shonen. They love action series. They love flashy animation
Bunga
and
Bunga,
art.
Crayon
we
Eaters.
have a lot of examples. Soul Leveling, JGK, Chainsaw Man, Demon Slayer.
That's right. My Caveman Academia, Unga Bunga Slayer. That's right, the crayon eating, key jingling people, the solo leveling. Let's go, arise.
It's very clear that there is an audience that really loves content like One Punch Man. And it's like, One Punch Man was Soul Leveling before Soul Leveling, pretty much. Like, it's an easy series. It's kind of like a power fantasy to a degree. Obviously, there's a
simple series, right? The premise of it is what he means. Not like an easy series to like animate.
A lot of differences. I know there's differences between Soul Leveling and One Punch Man, but I'm saying it's just an action series.
Yep.
And it's a
Wide
really
appealing
fun action series at that. And when you look at just the market of what people want to watch, One Punch Man just seems like an instant victory. It seems like something that would instantly win over a lot of people, and a lot of people would instantly want to watch and dedicate their time to. And
I think that this absolutely has mainstream appeal. It absolutely could break records if done right. And JC Staff is deciding to just... Why are they doing this? Like, I don't even hate JC Staff. I think JC Staff makes great anime. I think that they juggle a lot of different projects too. But like, if you can't deliver, just drop it and move on. Like, this is gonna just tarnish your name and people are gonna get upset.
You know, just want to make this as good looking as possible. And the problem here is that everyone involved working on this project has been radio silent. And the stuff that we have been drip fed.
Do we even know who the director is for this project? That's the thing. The last couple months, everyone's been waiting. Who's the actual fucking production team? Where is the new trailer? Where is the new marketing? Are they hiding stuff for the Annie Expo stuff? That happened. Nothing fucking happened. Like, what are we doing?
Has been concerning. And so let's get everybody up to speed and explain what's exactly going on here and why I'm talking about it and why a lot of people, the entire community, even accounts, daily accounts, and people that are mega fans of One Punch Man doom posting about the series, saying that it's so over, we are so cooked. And so
the one good news was Jam Project, also featuring Baby Metal, is crazy. If you know about Baby Metal for the opening, that's great, right? But I don't care, because that's not the actual anime. Great, we're gonna have a great song, and we're gonna have an homage, a reference to season 1 Jam Project opening. But like, so what? They're fucking catfishing us with it. What's the actual animation gonna look like?
Yeah, let's get into that. So first off, today was a anime convention in New York City, and there was a One Punch Man Season 3 panel, and
Yikes.
obviously when it comes to like these panels for anime conventions and stuff, usually there's announcements. And about a month and a half ago, almost 2 months ago, there was a panel as well, and literally it gave nothing. And a lot of people obviously complained about that, myself included. I even made a dedicated video discussing it. But in that video, I mentioned that there was going to be a new convention, New York, you know, New York's.
It's funny how like we keep shifting the goalpost, the copium, man, of like, hey, there's a new expo happening, a new event. Oh, they didn't show anything. The next expo, oh, they didn't do anything. Like, weren't we waiting for the summer expo for the longest time, and that they didn't deliver on anything? And now we had like the anime NYC fucking shit, nothing. What now? We got nothing, huh?
Anime convention. And I said we might get some information there, because obviously when the convention happened today, or this week, you know, there's less than a month away, or just a month away until Season 3 is supposed to air. So, obviously, with how close the release date is, you would expect there to be some form of information given. However, once again, that did not happen. There was some information given, but most of it was nothing. It was a nothing burger. So let's get into where we're at right now. So, with 1 month away until One Punch Man Season 3 airs, it's supposed to air, and there's been no...
Please cancel it. Please drop it and let someone else take it over, or just have better product management, because this is a terrible idea. We are rushing into something they should not be doing.
delay announcements at this time. We still do not have a staff. No trailer, no new key visual, and we only got the opening and ending announcement with reused assets over it, not even new visuals.
Great.
This is bad. This is a nuclear bomb basically building up right now.
This is like you're going to final exams and you haven't studied for shit. You skipped out every fucking lecture and lab. Tomorrow's the final exam. What do you think is gonna happen, bro? You think there's something good that's gonna happen?
This is about to be a disaster. And here's the thing. What makes this really, really bad, and why a lot of people are now talking about this in a negative light, it's the fact that you're supposed to, at the very least, at this point in time, before a month approaches, like, you know, before it airs, we're at least supposed to know the director.
That's the thing, right? We're not even asking that much. Just, please, who's working on it? Who's the director working on it? There was a video we watched the other day about Lord of the Mysteries, and they gave us a 10-year roadmap. 7 seasons, 4 movies, in advance. This fucking studio can't announce shit a month before the anime goes live. The lack of professionalism and the mismanagement, it's just abhorrent. And everything is basically signaling this is gonna be a train wreck disaster. And considering what happened in season 2 stuff, I think that people are gonna just dogpile on this. One Punch Man's brand name will get even shittier. JC staff will have their reputation done. Like their reputation, their brand name reputation is already down the gutter because of the One Punch Man stuff, because a lot of ignorant kids have no clue that JC staff is capable of making good anime. I don't even think season 2 was that bad. But obviously it was not peak, and it did not live up to the standards of Madhouse. And when you keep doing this, like, why are we doing this? Like, you're gonna butcher an amazing arc, the Garo Saga. And thankfully, there's some positives here in we still haven't gotten to the best parts of the Garo arc yet, right? The 1v1 matchups with the S-rank hunters and Saitama pulling up at the very end versus Garo stuff. That's not going to be included in Season 3, I don't think. So, at the very least, we can tank. Like, we can afford to take a hit in, like, the material being covered, but still, the material being covered should be delivered in an amazing way. And the lack of professionalism for such an amazing name, brand whole title is appalling.
Like, who's directing it? We're supposed to know some of the staff, but we have nothing. And at this point in time, the way this is looking, there's a few ways to view this. Either A, they're keeping it radio silent, making everybody doom post, and they're trying to make people depressed and think it's so over, which is a very interesting way to market your series, because obviously it can do everlasting damage where people doesn't want to check it out.
This is some big brain marketing, man. Shooting yourself in the foot and making people be worried, and basically, maybe they're trying to keep the expectations so low. How about that? They're like, we're already cooked. Let's not hype this up. Why gas it up? It's gonna be mid. So, let's just set the bar so low that even when we underdeliver, people won't be surprised.
However, maybe they're doing something smart, you know, reverse psychology, and then when they release the first episode of One Punch Man Season 3, it's going to blow all our minds.
That'd be crazy.
Be one of the best things we've ever seen. It's going to make everything just pale in comparison to what One Punch Man Season 3 has to offer.
What's the likelihood of that happening? Very low. But like in everything in life, I think that you should hope for the best, that this outcome could happen, but prepare for the worst. It's probably not going to happen, and you should be prepared to be let down.
Obviously, we don't live in a perfect world, and I don't think we live in a world like that where that's happening, so I do not think we live in a reality to where they're keeping radio silent and everything hush-hush this long till a month releases and not giving us anything. I think, in general, the reason why they are not giving us anything is probably because they don't have a lot to show, or what they do have to show is,
bad.
Not good.
And the reason why I think this is right on is the last trailer that One Punch Man Season 3 trailer was done, right? If we do One Punch Man Season 3 trailer, a lot of people were kind of excited about the brand new one. Is it this one? Yeah, I think it's this one, right? I think a lot of people are also making fun about how Darkshine here is a reused asset from a different scene. But this was basically done by one person. And a trailer being done by one person isn't a bad thing. And it's so funny that they have the staff here, but it has nothing about the actual director. The issue with this trailer is that it's basically feels like JC staff begged one person to basically have something to just have to show for. It was like a last minute desperation play, and it looks half decent, but this is very bad sign for, like, what's the likelihood of this being like a prepared situation? Do you really think that a studio that is trying to just force out something to show to the audience by having one person barely scrap shit together and deliver something? I don't even blame the one person working on it, and I think they were a scapegoat. But like, do you really think that a studio that is hiding shit, oh, shout outs to Flexi, she got banned apparently. Do you think that a studio that is prepared to just like surprise everybody would be doing this shit before? I just don't think so.
It's so bad, in fact, that they're embarrassed to show it, but they have to release it because of deadlines and, you know, just getting things out in a certain amount of time, because obviously they probably have contracts or whatever that need to be fulfilled, so things just need to be pumped out, and they can't delay it any longer. There's a
exactly the trailer I mentioned. They just had to get something out to show to the people, to give them some sort of like, hey, we got something cooking, trust.
Few ways now to really look at this entire situation. First off, I think that everybody can see the writing on the walls. One Punch Man Season 3, it's done. I think that it's
Probably.
over. I don't think it's going to be a good season. There might be moments that might stand out, but I think overall it's going to be just a straight up massive downgrade from Season 2.
Which is a crazy thing to say, because people were shitting on Season 2 because of the downgrade from Season 1. And now you're going to be wishing you had Season 2 quality back.
I'm not even talking about Season 1. I didn't expect to have Season 1 quality, but I feel like it's going to be such a massive step down from Season 2. It's going to be it's gonna feel like it's gonna make you feel disgusted just comparing season 2 with season 3. That's what I think is going to happen. It's going to be so bad, in fact, that I think a lot of people are going to try to erase season 3 from their mind and act like it doesn't even exist.
We should have a petition to cancel JC staff from. They should basically say, please don't release it. Please drop it. But corporations, they operate on contracts, and I'm sure they're still going to be contractually obligated to finish it, right? Like, I'm assuming it's too late for them to back out. There's money to be lost, livelihoods to take care of. Their focus, I don't think, is to make the best One Punch Man anime possible, but more of, let's deal with the corporate bullshit right now and get through this and get paid. And I know people are going to get mad, but life goes on kind of situation.
I feel like we have a potential The Promised Neverland Season 2, like, ending part, or the
Promised Neverland Season 2 is a different situation because the author themselves pulled the plug, right? I hear a lot of misinformation about the studio, the production staff fucked up Promised Neverland anime. No. The mangaka decided to do that rushed anime original ending, which is just beyond bizarre. And my theory about that is the mangaka thought this was the way to entice people to read the manga instead. That if I butcher the anime and rush it, that people would want to check the manga. I don't know, it's crazy. Literally self-sabotage. Insane.
Seven Deadly Sins Season 3 and onward type scenes for whatever's about to happen in One Punch Man Season 3.
Seven Deadly Sins, I think, is a more astute, accurate example here. Because Seven Deadly Sins, what happened to that? A1 Pictures was delivering peak content. Then they had other projects to deliver on. It then got basically offhanded to Dean, I think, or a separate studio, outsourcing, and shit just went down the... It just got fucked up.
Which, let's get into a few things.
And that's kind of what's happening here too, right? Hand it off, like something amazing being done in the earlier seasons, hand it off to a different studio, and then shit hitting the fan. That's kind of what's happened to One Punch Man.
With no staff listing at this time, what I think about this situation is that I feel like the people in...
Technically, they did announce a staff listing here, right? But it's very funny how they listed a staff listing. Because the staff is, hey, based on One Punch Man by One and Yusuke Murata, the webcomic creator, the creator of the series, and the redraw mangaka. But like, that's not the animation staff. That's the fucking mangakas. And then you got series composition, which is kind of okay, alright. Then you have like character design, okay. You got music, and then the staff. But it's a nothing burger, you know? Who's the fucking director, right? Who's the key animators? Who are the people that is actually in leadership? You're giving us fucking random... Like, the more I look at it, it just feels like, again, like a college or high school situation where you're grasping to just deliver something. Like, project is due, you have nothing to show for. You're just writing shit up. You're just trying to... It's a filler bullshit, man.
Involved are embarrassed, and they probably don't want their name associated or even attached to the product, because I know of animators I have personally talked with that can get their names scratched from the credits. For instance, when an episode comes out for, let's say, ReZero or something, they can ask the director or the people that working on the episode to remove their name from the credits where they're not credited whatsoever.
Imagine being so embarrassed. You know that the shit that you worked on is so mid, but you still want to collect the paycheck. They're like, yeah, can you please just remove the name? Because it's going to do damage to my brand and career.
And the reason for this could be a variety of different reasons, but one reason in particular, it's because maybe the animator is not proud of their work, they're not proud of what they've done, and so they just don't want their name associated with the episode at all.
This should be some Blue Lock shit, bro. The Blue Lock was really proud every time at the end, the credit scene, remember? I think we made some memes about that during the reaction. They're like, damn, these motherfuckers really proud of the fucking work they did on season 2, huh?
And so in this case, I feel like this is systematically what's potentially going on for One Punch Man Season 3, that a lot of animators and staff that's working on it probably doesn't even want their name associated with the project.
Why would you, right? Who would ever want to touch this? As much as I love One Punch Man, and it's one of my favorite series as a webcomic that I've read before, and the manga too, I would never, ever touch this. This is a nuclear hazard zone. This is some Chernobyl shit. So basically, I think JC's staff has mishandled One Punch Man behind the scenes in terms of corporate management scheduling. And it's gotten so fucking bad that this is the result. 1 month out, still nothing to show for. Who the fuck would want to work on this project? Straight up. I mean, even at the end of season two already itself created so much backlash that I would never want to touch it. Because like, why would you want to hurt your career? Why would you want to damage? Like, it just doesn't make sense to me.
Because it's actually just that bad. I could be entirely wrong, obviously, though. I mean, I'm not obviously working on One Punch Man Season 3.
Yeah, and everything we're talking right now is speculation, but these speculations are educated guesses on what we've seen so far, right? And what we've seen so far is fucking nothing.
But it is odd. It's not normal. Anyone trying to act like it's normal that there has been literally no new information for One Punch Man Season 3 when it's literally going to air in a month from now is lying to themselves if they think it's A-okay.
I think that this will be really fun, though. Even though it's going to be at the expense of One Punch Man, we're going to have a debate situation all over again. We will. It's going to be Blue Lock / debate. If you don't know, it's so bad that everyone keeps talking about it. Everyone dunks on it. Everyone makes memes about it. PowerPoint presentation this, slide lock that. The end before the beginning this. It's gonna, yeah, the big three, bro. One frame, exact one frame, and the memes, people will be eating it up. The drama content will be there. So that's the beautiful thing about reaction stuff, or just like, you know, content creators like us, where it doesn't matter if the anime does well or bad. If it does well, then people glaze. Great, and we have a good time. I would hope that One Punch Man does well. If it does really bad, the drama, the outfall from it, oh my god, it gets even juicier. Negative engagement is way more popular than positive engagement. What we can't have is mid. Boring mid, right in the middle, is something people don't care about at all. But if it's gotta be like different side of the spectrum. You can't be in the middle.
The series is in good hands. Like I said, the only reality that it's okay is that they've been tricking and lying to us for this long to lower expectations down so low that when it does come out, it's just going to blow our minds.
Yeah.
I don't think that's going to be the case.
I think they're not trying to do that, but literally they're lowering the bar of expectations so low that when the Dookie comes out, we're not going to be shocked. We're going to be like, yep, that's pretty much what we imagined. Don't be surprised. JC staff has already given up, and they're saying, please don't expect anything from us.
So, what's the options here? Well, the only option really to salvage this, I think, is to delay.
Remake, yep,
but
delete,
I don't
delay.
think that's going to happen. And the reason why I don't think that's going to happen is one big indication. And that's the fact that we had an announcement for who is
Jam
doing
projects.
the opening song. For instance, Baby Metal is working on the opening song, which pretty good. I
Yeah.
like their music. They're really good. But the problem is that means that they have a contract. They have done an obligation contract and all that, like the staff, the people working on One Punch Man. They've requested Baby Metal to work with them. So they've already paid them, so to speak.
They should just they should just launch the opening. They should just market their opening song and put that shit out, and then but not make the anime. They should still delay or drop the anime entirely.
Which means that they would lose money if they delay it.
Yeah.
They would 100% lose money. That's not including about the broadcasting slots, the slots on TV and stuff in Japan.
And this is the thing that you need to be aware of, right? In corporate structures, it's not so easy of like, oh, just drop it, just delay it. Like, there's a lot of different contracts and deals and people's like paychecks and livelihoods on the line. And that often comes at the expense of creating actual art, right? Because more so than creating actual anime, that's good. This is a business. And these different things are more important in the grand scheme of things. That they're not thinking, oh no, you know, the Garo Saga is so amazing, but we haven't done a good enough job, let's delay it. They would never think like that. They were going to be like, we're too deep into the project and there's, you know, deadlines to meet and, you know, people's livelihoods on the line. We need to just get something out there, even if it's bad, for the sake of just business.
If they were to delay it, they would lose money out there as well. So overall, they're going to lose a lot of money if they potentially delay the product. But obviously, you might think to yourselves, like,
lose-lose situation.
A better idea because obviously the series isn't ready yet.
Exactly, but we're thinking from the perspective of avid fans of the series, but they don't think like that. Japanese corporations are corporations. They think about business, the bottom line, livelihoods on the line, money, paycheck, right? So when you think about these things, it's like, it's they know it's gonna be bad, but it's like a lose-lose situation. You drop the project, you lose out on more money. You continue the project, you lose out on less money, but people still shit on you. Well, I don't know. It's just fucked either way.
But that's probably not what the big wigs and the investors are thinking. They might be at this point in time just being like, let's just try to make as much money as we can from this.
Yes.
And then just move on.
Exactly. I think this is all about damage control. They know it's going to be ass. Let's just try to do the best we can to mitigate the damage and just ignore this ever happened.
Take it as a tax write-off or whatever. That's what it more or less is starting to look like, which is pretty sad, honestly, how One Punch Man is being treated. I think that, though, with the announcement like this, yeah, it's probably not getting delayed.
And stuff like this, I think, is why the animation industry is so fucking shit. Didn't Chibi make a video about the Frieren director blaming the West, the international audience, for the fall of Japanese animation? I think I've heard something about that. But the real culprit behind the downfall of Japanese animation is mismanaged bureaucracy in Japan. The decision makers, right? The animators are not getting paid because producers are taking all the fucking money. If you look at the wage gap between the animators, the people actually on the fucking ground making the product versus the people who simply wear their fucking monkey suits and make the decisions, it's so drastic, it's not even funny. Animators are very scarce, talent is bleeding out. You can't have a culture that promotes and grows long-lasting cultivation and careers within the animation industry. You constantly outsource for the sake of making the most money as possible. Corrupt, evil motherfuckers who don't actually care about anime, whose only goals are to be locust, to come in, suck dry of an IP and leave without caring about how good the actual anime is. That's why the animation industry is just dog shit. It's not because of the market or the audience. It's always the people behind it. People are greedy and corrupt, and because a system doesn't exist to kind of balance such things, they can get away with doing whatever shit they want in order to fill their pockets with money at the expense of everyone else. Art and business. There is a trade-off, man, right? When you're trying to make good art, you don't think about how much money you're losing. When you truly want to make good animation, if you truly wanted to make the Garo arc the best it could be, you would never have to worry about, how much money they're going to lose, because people will try to deliver. That's the beautiful thing about art. But here's the thing too. We live in the real world under capitalism where business is also a very important part. And quite often, art, passion projects and stuff like that, that comes second. That's not even like the most important thing. It's all about business first. So now, because of the business side, you start to cut corners and try to basically min-max the resources, and the art itself is being compromised and sacrificed. And that's why it's so fucking frustrating, but that's the world that we live in.
So, yeah, to make a long story short, I think we are about to see one of the craziest downfalls for an anime. A high-profile anime at that. Because this is much different than the beginning after the end. I know a lot of people might want to bring that up for this discussion of, like, for...
At least Debate never had great expectations other than the source material, right? We're talking about, like, existing anime seasons and then falling off.
Instance, One Punch Man. Some people might bring up, let's say, X-Arm or whatever.
Blue Lock.
But the problem is that One Punch Man is a very recognizable property.
Yeah.
It's a very big product. It's going to do so much brand damage when Season 3 releases, and it's in a very bad state. It will do so much damage, in fact, that it's very likely we might not even ever get a Season 4. That's how bad it will potentially be handled. Like, if Season 3 is that bad, they might not ever want to touch a Season 4.
Which is so sad, because Season 3 Beyond, again, the Garo Saga, one of the greatest fucking arcs of One Punch Man I've read. I've read that arc multiple times. God, the narration, the commentator talking about the mentality of the different S-rank heroes and Garo surpassing his limits, and it's just so fucking hype, man. And we're not gonna get that. It's so sad. It's genuinely so sad. I remember, reading this shit a couple years back for the first time, and I was just like, wow. What's an anime of this gonna be? And then Season 1 came out. I saw clips of it by then. I was busy with school and shit like that. But, like, to think that, like, when I was reading the webcomic back then, to imagine what the Garo Saga is gonna be. And now we're here. We're literally here, but it's like this. That's fucked up. It's actually so fucked up.
So yeah, I think everybody kind of gets that point, which once again is crazy because, like I said, the industry is obviously gearing towards the trend of stuff like One Punch Man. So it's strange to me to not let it be better.
Why cap? Exactly.
It's strange, man. I'll leave it at that, though. I wanted to talk about this. I was a little bit frustrated seeing that there was an entire convention and panel focused on One Punch Man again today, and there was literally nothing. It's over, man. It's actually just, it's so over. I love you guys.
And Chibi is no foreigner to dooming, right? If you look at Chibi's channel, I'm sure a lot of people are kind of like fatigued in how it's all over. It's done. It's over. This is the end. The end of the world is here. Doomsday. Over. It's over. But I actually think that like One Punch Man, this situation, it low-key is over. And this is not an exaggeration. We have seen time after time the lack of marketing and any sort of announcement for One Punch Man Season 3. We are 1 month out. To have no director, to have no new trailers, to have no other news at these significant expos is very concerning. Doesn't mean it's completely over, but we're making educated guesses and assumptions, and it's looking pretty fucking bad. And for it to happen to One Punch Man, one of my beloved series. Fun fact, before this channel was created, my old channel, before that I had to delete it due to copyright, One Punch Man manga reactions, man. I used to do that shit. That's when I first got over 10,000 views. People were fucking loving that shit, and I was eating it up, and it was so fun. One Punch Man genuinely is one of my favorite series, man. Which is funny, because I haven't seen the anime just yet. I'm a big manga reader and the webcomic enjoyer back in the day for One Punch Man stuff, but God, to have it turn out like this during the Garo arc, my hope is that, well, maybe JC Staff just delivers. Maybe the elite Danmachi Railgun team is working on One Punch Man Season 3 and we're good to go. But most likely not. I hope that they drop it, but considering all the different business, contracts, I don't think so. I hope that it gets redone. I hope that it gets redone and someone else takes over. Please, someone save us. Please. Saitama needs to fucking step up and save us from this disaster, man. Please check out Chibi. Here's a link to the video. Go give it a like. Check out his content for other stuff. I'll see you next time.